This episode is sponsored by Marvelous Care at Home Consultants, specializing in dementia awareness and caregiver support. With over 20 years of experience, located in Nevada, licensed and registered. For more information, please contact marvelouscareathomeconsultants.com.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in, welcome in. We appreciate you for being here today. Yes, this is another episode of the Fathers from the Hood podcast. How you guys doing today? We do appreciate you for being here. Yes. Go ahead and follow the radio station, fathersfromthehood.com, and the radio station is there. We have the podcast streaming. Also have oldies on Sundays and funk on Fridays, but we also have a lot of news going on. We also play it in a lot of countries. So shout out to the radio station, the Patreon, everyone showing support. So we do appreciate you. We do love you, and like I said, continue to follow up. Like I said, the Patreon and donate as well. But today, I'm very excited. Today we have a very special guest. Today we have a very, very special guest. She's well decorated, and also she's pleasant, and this is the first lady that we've had to the podcast. And we definitely want to have someone that can give us some insight, definitely give us some knowledge, and she can do that, and I'll let her give her story. But this is the first lady to the podcast, Fathers from the Hood podcast, and we're excited to have her. I'm going to let you do your formal introduction. Yes, you can go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Marlene Lewis, and I am the owner of Marvelous Care at Home Consultant, talk show hostess for Marvelous Care at Home Talk. And we've been in business going on about a year now, and I've been in the medical field for about 26, 27 years, and it is an honor to be here.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it. I saw her speaking at an event out here one night, and she was definitely grabbing everyone's attention, and she had some good things to say, so we definitely want to bring her here, get her involved, definitely speak on some of the things that she said on that night and more. But yeah, we definitely appreciate you for being here. And I know I said it, but I can't say it enough. We're going to go straight into it. Usually when we're here, we kind of ask, and one of the main things is if you had your fathers in your life. And when you grew up, did you have your father, and how did that affect you now growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, I did not have my biological father in my life. But I was blessed to have a stepfather in my life who my mom married, and he did adopt us. Okay. But as time went on, I was introduced to my biological father at the age of 16 by my grandmother, and I stayed there. So we eventually built a bond, and I took care of him until he passed in December of 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. So great that you were able to rekindle or reestablish that relationship. How monumental was that for you? Was that important for you? I imagine it being so, but how much was it? How important was it for you, a young lady growing up?
Well, I always felt different among my siblings, us having different fathers. So when my stepfather would do things for his children by my mother, I didn't always get the same treatment. Okay. So it did affect me a lot because I always wanted to know the other side of me. I still want to know the other side of my relatives, my family members. But as time went through, the hardships, the prayers, looking at other siblings and other friends with their father, mother, household, it kind of tore me down a bit, but I always stayed prayerful. My mother always told me to go to God in prayer, and that's what I did. When I rekindled with my dad, I didn't have any hardship with him because I never know what actually happened between him and my mother. Okay. So it's always two sides to the story and then the truth.
Right.
What I did notice is God was answering my prayer. I asked him, I prayed, I cried, and I asked for time in my biological father's life. Although I didn't know exactly how to pray. Right,
or what to ask for.
Exactly, but when he handed my father over to me, it was with illnesses. I was really able to assist him and advocate for him because he had a major stroke that took his speech.
Oh, wow.
So that brought us closer together, and I always kept God first. And it got to the point where when he was asked questions, although he couldn't speak, he would point to me.
Okay.
Like whatever questions you have,
I know she's in my best interest.
he would point to me. So we didn't have a lifelong bonding relationship, but towards the end of him needing care, it meant so much to the both of us.
Great. Good to hear that. You know, it's very important to rekindle that relationship. I had a stepfather and met mine older in my 20s. And I think it's real important to kind of, one, meet them, and two, let the pride go, you know, and kind of put yourselves in their shoes. And, you know, when you're younger, I think you have less of that. You don't want to put yourself in their shoes. You have more pride. But when you get older, you might have, you know, you might put that behind you. Like my step-pop said, put your pride in your back pocket. But, you know, so they, you know, that's what you, especially when you want to learn something about yourself.
Exactly.
At one point, you're like, oh, man, I need to know why I'm talking like this, why I look and act like this.
Mm-hmm. And medical, you want to know your medical history,
Yeah.
Where them genes come from.
Yeah, yeah. My buddy Anthony Chapman talks about that when he said he doesn't have his dad there. So he said, and we don't look at it as something big, but he said, man, it means a lot for him, it means it's a lot for him to not know where this comes from, what ailments are, you know, prone for him and things like that. But
Absolutely.
that's crazy. But it's great to hear that you are able to help them because you have that, you know, experience. Speaking on the experience, can you touch lightly on? I know you have a career, a lot of experience, and that's great. That's definitely one of the reasons why we have you here. Can you touch on some of that and let them know some of the stuff that you are qualified to speak about, some of the things that you do know from your experience in this career industry?
Well, working in the medical field, I've worked with children from newborn to God's oldest children, like over 100 years old.
Wow.
I worked with the men, women, different cultures, nursing homes, supported living facilities, in private homes. And I can actually tell you the only the thing that's still the same with everyone is they all have towards the end during their journey, they transition. They always live that I wish I could have.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I would have done it. I should have done that. I could have did that,
Right.
but I didn't.
Right. Yeah. And when it's near the end, I imagine that being something heavy that they, you know, think about, like, oh man, I was, you know, and then think about the relationship with parents and kids. Oh, I wish I could have did that.
I wish I should have, could have, would have.
Yeah, that's
that life, and you have to be patient. And sometimes caregivers, physicians, social workers, we're all human, but you have to listen to them. And when you listen to them, and you work with multiple people, you will see outside of the color of the skin, in some shape and form, everybody is the same.
Right.
And when you're working with people with dementia, people that's entering into the world of dementia or has entered into the world of dementia, it's many diseases that lead up to memory loss, but it's everybody still, they have that same diagnosis, but they're still different.
Right. Yes.
You know, the diseases attacks them, but their behavior, their character is still different.
Right.
So if you know what they did back in the past, it can sort of help you with how to engage with them, to get to know them, to try to assist them.
Right.
And you have to do research on what diseases that they have so that you can help them.
Right.
And if you listen to them, they will tell you pretty much a lot of their history.
Right.
And don't always think it's not true, because it may not come, you know, in order. They'll tell you bits and pieces what happened in 1934, 1943, and then they'll tell you what happened in 1990 something. So you got to kind of connect the dots.
Okay.
But a lot of the things that they're saying is the truth.
Right.
And you can actually learn from it. I have tremendously.
Oh yeah, they are wiser than all of us. You know, like I said, the longer you've been here, you have a lot of stuff to teach. We're gonna touch on a couple of numbers and statistics, but while we're on the elders needing care, when you have that when you have that mindset of wanting to help, how important is that when elders are at a certain age? Sometimes the parent or the kids aren't able to give them all the attention and the the help that they need.
Well, I look at it like this. Using my mother for an example, my mother not only raised us, she assists with other people's children and the neighborhood children, and now she's 80 years old. With children, you can actually find time. You have people that are very well off organization owners. If you can find time, and this is just my opinion, if you could find time to travel the world, if you could find time to go to a lounge or to a party and celebrate, these golden years, you could find time for your parents. Hey. If you able to afford $100,000 car, $200,000 car, $1 million house, you can afford a caregiver to keep your parent at home, and that's what we do at Marvelous Care Home. We are here to help keep the loved ones at home.
Okay.
And just like what organization, what you can't handle, you pay somebody to handle that.
Right.
Okay, so if you need that time to yourself, get that time for yourself, but pay somebody to keep your parents at home. It's a hard journey.
Right.
To some people, it's very stressful, but that's with anything that you do in life. But being in the medical field and taking care of your parents, it becomes second nature.
Right.
And if I feel that if your parents sacrifice for you, who are you not to sacrifice for them?
Hey, hello. That's the truth. That's a message right there.
And the word do say, honor thy mother and thy father.
Yes, it does say that. It does say that.
And
so your days will be longer.
Exactly. And we weren't born with a journal. We were not born with instructions. There's no... When a woman give birth to a child, they don't get a manual to say, oh, this one going to be a drug dealer. This one right here, this one going to be the lawyer.
Right.
So they don't know that, but they love their children unconditionally, and they're all the way in. Wow. So when they're aging, my mother say, once an adult and twice a child. She prepared us for that moment.
Right. Hey, twice a child. So, you really parents need to be good to your kids. Parents really give your kids that attention because, one, they're an extension of you, and two, you're going to need them one day.
Yeah.
You're going to need them one day, and you don't want to have them having any resentment if you're absent or anything like that. You want to make sure that even in her instance, she still was able to be there. But you don't want you don't want your kids to be away and then you have to be forced to be in that home, because... And not saying that there's something bad, sometimes it's better, but sometimes it's always best to be close to people at home.
And in your heart, you gotta have a heart. You gotta have God. You have to be able to repent and ask for forgiveness, because it was only one person that was perfect, and we born into sin.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you say, we are a product of our parents. So when you look in the mirror, you either gonna see your father or you gonna see your mother.
Right.
But it's there.
and your temperament and the way you act, the way you react to things, the way you cook and whatever. So
it's there.
It is. Speaking on that, when you say you look at the parents for that, or you get some of the things from the parents, it says that the black parent or the black males are more absent than other races. I would like to think that nowadays it's getting a little bit better. But maybe in 10 or 15 years ago, it was bad. And, at one point, dads weren't there and they weren't caring to be there. It just seems like the mental was just on something else. These men are focused on something else other than their kids. So how do you feel about that? Let's just go that way.
I kind of look at it in different angles. If a young man, we start, as a boy, when they grow up, if there's not a true male figure, a true father figure in their life, then they're not going to know what they're supposed to do when they become a father. If the mother have never had a real husband, a real true man, not a male, there's a difference between a male and a man.
Mm-hmm.
And if she didn't have that husband or that man in her life, the father of that child, then she don't know what to expect. So she can only do her best. And I also believe that the government has a lot to do with it as well. And the reason I say this is because they are controlling what the single mothers are able to have.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you have the fathers that step up and say, hey, enough is enough, I want to be in my child's life, you also have the government with these rules
And boundaries.
exactly
Speed bumps and roadblocks.
Okay. So what if the parent, if the mother is asking for assistance or whatever, then you got the government saying, well, the more you get, the more we take.
They get a piece too. Come on.
Exactly. And if you have parents, say single mothers in housing or Section 8, then the government is splitting up these families because they're not allowing the fathers to be in that household.
Yes, ma'am.
They can come and visit for a certain amount of days, but the children need their fathers every day.
Right.
They don't need them 30 days.
Of
They
the
don't
year.
need them 99% of the time or 99.9%.
They
They
need
need
100.
them 100%, except when they're at work.
Right, right.
But that's not what the government is doing. So the more that the black men try, the more the government take. So then they have these families that have to choose. Okay, now if I go 100% with my husband, 100% with my baby daddy or whatever, then you know what? We may be homeless.
Right.
Or I might not be able to feed my children when the father go out and do something else and we got to eat. How am I going to do that?
Right.
It causes stress, tension, and depression,
Yes.
which all lead up to mental illness.
Right. Definitely true.
So
Definitely
it all revolves on how that boy is being raised to be a leader, to be a man, to be a father. It also go according to how that woman is raised,
Okay.
to go into being a woman and a wife.
Right.
So it's all circled.
I do agree. And it also starts with parenting. Like they say, it starts at home. I blame the parents. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
they do say that.
It
But it's
with the
free
parents.
will. You have choices.
It does.
And nourishment. You know, the environment have a lot of impact as well. Because when you look at the young men not having that father figure in the house, the mother can do all she can do. But when they become teenagers and young adults and the streets are showing them more attention or providing them with the attention that they feel or think they're supposed to have, that's it. It's
going
more
astray.
exactly.
They're going astray.
Exactly.
Yeah, we always preach that sometimes the mental state of the father can affect not only the kids but the whole house. And you know, they say happy wife, happy life, and that's true sometimes. But we really sometimes need to focus on some of the psyche and the mental health of the man, because we are going. I'm speaking for me. We are going through a lot, but I think that if we do channel all of that energy and know that we can, release our stress somewhere, whatever the case may be, this is what we really need to be. Parents, we need to really make sure that our kids are doing what we, whatever, just keep them in that great mental space, because it's just been a lot, and I'm kind of stammering right now because it's been a lot for all of us to deal with. So the mental health of men and black men is very important, because
Extremely.
they'll go astray, man, and we know that men are more likely to kind of commit suicide and things like this, but yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing some of those numbers in, and we're going to also talk about some dementia. So right here are some of the numbers that we have here are based on dementia, and some of them. So it says, what is the incident rate? So although dementia mainly affects older people, it is not a normal part of aging. Worldwide, around 50 million people have dementia. And so we wanted to talk about early detection, things that you can kind of see, and you can always tell if you want to kind of go into more detail. You can always tell if there are certain signs maybe with a person, but you don't know if that's related to dementia.
Exactly.
You don't know if that's related to this. So can you give us more light on kind of like the early detection thing?
Well, one, when you around a person all the time, you can see changes as they grow. But like you said, everything that you see, I put it this way. When we look at a picture, we see different things. So when you're around a person constantly, you will notice some changes. If you go around a person every now and then, you won't really know what those changes are. When you take a patient, resident, your loved one to the doctor, you will get about 10, 15 minutes in the room with them, which is not long enough to get diagnosis for dementia. If a person have a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, if they have, if they are anemia and their hemoglobin drop, it messes with the memory as well. If you have diabetics and they sugar drop, it messes with memory.
Okay.
So when you see somebody forget something, or I had my keys right here, what happened to my keys? We can't always jump and say it's dementia, because people are actually living longer.
Okay.
So you can't, you shouldn't, I should say, actually say that it's dementia.
Okay.
You can tell if it's something that they really like to do, like a hobby, and they start losing interest in it, pay attention. It's either a medical condition such as an infection, like I stated, blood dropping, diabetes, stress. Pay attention to those signs.
Okay.
If they say, well, who are you? You definitely know.
Hey,
You definitely know to go get an assessment done, but to keep the patients. Finances, they tend to not be able to budget their checkbooks.
Okay.
They'll lose that. If they're driving, be aware, people. We do have some seniors that are on the road.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That should not be on the road right now. But they will drive in circles, or they'll go somewhere and not know where they are. And then all of a sudden it's, how did I get here?
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of different things. If they're cooking and they forget that they're cooking, and all of a sudden you smell smoke in the house, it's something that needs to definitely be checked out by a doctor and some MRIs to see if they see any little white spots,
Right.
see the functions of the brain.
Okay.
But number one, you should not jump to conclusions and say, hey, my mother, my father, my uncle, my sister have dementia. Get the blood work, get cultures done. Make sure there's no infection going on before diagnosing them yourself.
Yeah, because like I said, you can always see things. Oh, where are my keys? Or like, and you say, oh, this person going through that. Oh, I think they got this, but you don't know. You have to actually go ahead and, like you said, get the study done, or actually go and get a professional to assess this person.
and it has to be constantly reoccurring, because everybody of all ages forgets something.
Yes.
So that being said, if we was all being judged on forgetting something, everybody has dementia. So
If it's that, right?
Everybody has dementia. I mean, it's been people that, we sit our glasses on the top of our head. What did I do with my glasses?
Mm-hmm.
They're on your head. Oh, that don't mean they have dementia.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It means that they might have a lot of things on their mind.
Exactly. And think about if you're not feeling well, or you under a lot of pain, and somebody come to you and say, hey, what can I just take it. And then by the time your pain medication kick in, and you think about it, where's my, you told so-and-so to just take it out of pain. Were you in pain and you just gave an answer for them to go, or do you have dementia?
Right. That is very good statement, because a lot of people would assume or, do whatever. And then, like I said, if you're busy, your mental is busy. Your mind is thinking about 2, 3, 4 things at one time. So, I also wanted to touch on, in our community, the African-American community, it says that according to research published in, 2018 or 2016, African-Americans have the highest risk of dementia. It says, and I'm not sure if this is still current, but it says around 38% over a 25-year period beginning at age 65. So just saying that, is that something that you see in your practice? Are there a lot of elderly African Americans in these homes that have dementia and Alzheimer's?
Well, from my experience, I work mostly with well-off Caucasians, so I saw more Caucasians than I did African American with dementia.
Okay.
And also children have dementia as well, but you don't hear many people talk about it.
Right. Yeah, I was going to talk about that as well. Let's get right into it. So how often or how likely is it that kids have dementia, and what are some of the, I guess, not telltale signs, or what are some of the things that you can kind of assume that you need to get some, professional assistance, have somebody diagnose it? What are some of those things that are alarming that should raise concerns?
You have behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the behaviors, the forgetfulness, just like seniors.
Okay.
They forget different things. when you look at their behavior and things, you can be like, I just told you to so and so. I forgot,
Right.
I don't remember. Get them checked out,
Okay.
because it could be short-term memory, it could be dementia, and also get them testing, get medical testing done, because the same diseases that adults have, children have.
Okay.
And if you do a little more research, the same diseases that humans have, animals have.
Okay. Talk to me.
So, it's not a age thing. It's a human thing.
Okay. It can affect
It's
you.
genetic.
Okay.
It's genetic. If it's something wrong, say your brain cells, if it's something wrong with your brain cells, does that mean a 3-year-old brain not going to get defects? Or does that mean a 3-year-old brain is not going to, that person not going to get diseases that's going to affect their brain?
Mm-hmm.
It's a human thing. It's a life.
Right.
It's life. So if people can remember, don't quickly put an age to it.
Right.
Let's find out how to take care of the diseases, to prevent them. The culture, like you said, African American, most of us are in low income areas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're in low income areas, do you think they're going to send us quality food?
No.
And it's a lot. And working in the medical field, I noticed that a lot of places, because I worked in a diverse group of people, like many different cultures, diverse environment, and different things. And I noticed that the quality of food in certain neighborhoods was much better. Lettuce is crispy.
Mm-hmm.
The cucumbers you can play a drum with, they won't even break,
Yeah.
Then you go in other areas, low income areas, and poverty areas or different things, or however people want to call them. You pick up a cucumber, it's all limp and soft,
And they stuck with the meal on wheels.
right, you're right. Or you go to get you a head of lettuce. You got to make sure the staff is not looking, so you could peel the lettuce to get to the crispy part.
Right.
So the food has a lot to do with it, because one, the produce come from who? The farmers. So it goes through a lot of different, it goes through a transition before it even hit the stores.
Yes.
And even the water. And I noticed here in Nevada, was a location, the water was smelling like sewer. So the water in low income areas is not as fresh.
Yes.
In other areas, wealthy areas. And they pay for it. The wealthy people pay for the quality.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens with the people in low income areas, African Americans? What happened?
Right.
Because Jim Crow is still in effect. It's just done differently.
Yes.
So they'll never be able to afford the quality according to society.
Right. While we're on the topic of foods, I know sometimes they say foods can affect memory. And we do know that if you have, some people know, if you don't know, you will know, that fresh fruits or fresh vegetables and fruits are better to eat, or sometimes better for you, depending on your, I don't know, I think they're better for everybody, depending on what you eat. But anyway, when it comes to fruits, we're going to touch on a couple where they said that blueberries have been shown in numerous studies to do wonderful things for memory. Onions and red onions contain different things that, and yellow and white onions also have good level of, is that quercetin?
No.
Quercetin.
And you got the greens.
Oh, yes.
Blueberry, blackberries, strawberries, elderberries.
Okay.
Antioxidants. They have antioxidants in there that help with the memory. You also have like leafy greens, kale, collard, mustard greens. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
From scientists, is good for memory as well. Nuts are good for memory. Flex seeds are supposed to be good for memories. The seeds, they're supposed to be good for memory as well.
Okay. Did they say beets, red beets and broccoli maybe? I'm not sure.
I got to do a little more research on that. Because I love beets.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm going to do a little more research to get back to you on that one.
So that's pending. Give us a little bit of time.
Right.
That's all right. Yeah, but these are still good things to know. Also, I want to touch on something, the consumption of alcohol. This definitely can affect your memory. Some people black out. Some people have different forms of memory loss when they're drinking. How can that affect you long term?
Well, with the alcohol, a lot of people don't drink water. So they say water flushes the body.
Mm-hmm.
So the alcohol kills cells as well. And the people don't look at alcohol as a disease or an addiction, but it is. And any bad addiction that lead up to diseases, and diseases lead up to memory, it will affect not only your memory, but your liver and your kidneys and everything that's connected.
That's crazy. It says one of the stats, or something that we say at verywellmind.com, says while drinking in moderation will not significantly impair long-term memory loss, chronic alcohol abuse will disrupt or damage memory. And I think this is something that we all know. We all got that one friend that drink a little bit too much.
Like
and then
a fish.
Yeah, drink like a fish. Say something for the fish. And then next thing you know, here they are, hey, did you? No, I don't remember today. So that's a sign that you need to stop drinking or something. Now, is that a sign that it could be linked to maybe some sort of memory loss long term? Or they just need to stop drinking?
Well, anything that kills the body that affects you, you probably need to stop it.
Okay, I need to stop. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably need to stop it. Like, I like sugar, so I probably need to cut back on it. But working in the medical field, I saw so many people that just partied up and consumed so much liquor to it just killed their liver. And there was so many people that has dementia, and they was like, well, in the charts or the first stages, they didn't smoke, but they drank.
Okay.
And that's something that the government is not focusing on. And the reason being they're not so much focusing on the alcohol is because it's money.
Yeah, it's money, just like the nicotine.
Touch it down.
Yeah, for real, definitely. And like my buddy said, it's like a rite of passage when you get to a certain age. Go ahead and get you some drink. Go ahead and get drunk. For what? What's the real point of it? But, we all said it and we still tried it. But what I'm saying is this is something that they're pressing on us. Hey, you need to be having fun. You need to be drunk. You can have fun without that.
Being drunk.
Maybe it says everything in moderation. Too much of anything could kill you. So it's just crazy to see that a lot of people nowadays are consuming alcohol on a heavy level. I mean, I have friends that drink big bottles. I had a buddy at work. I could not believe he drank a whole bottle of Maker's Mark in a day. Next day, he was feeling the signs and body. He had ulcers and things like this. But we, as a community, as a generation, need to be mindful that this alcohol consumption can have effects later on.
Alcohol, marijuana, people don't realize, it's legal. Yes, but it's a slow killer. It's killing you guys' cells. Trust me, I took care of hundreds of people. Was not drinking alcohol. Was a weed smoker.
Yeah.
They weren't smoking blunts. It was called joints.
Yeah,
Joints and bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And it slowly kills the brain cells.
Now, they say that they have medicinal uses for that, and that is true for those that have certain ailments. But that's another thing. And hey, I don't want to be no hypocrite, but anyway, yeah, like they said, too much of anything can kill you. It's not good for you. Too much of anything. So yeah, that's definitely true. And that's crazy to say that because we always have, as a community, have an addictive nature. I think sometimes in our community, liquor stores everywhere. You got more liquor stores than streetlights. No, I'm just kidding. They're everywhere. I'm
more liquor stores than churches.
Yeah, for real, seriously. So that's just something that is heavy in our community. People drink. Money. Oh yeah, and endorsements. They push it in the community. It's everywhere. So yeah, it's something. And then like I said, even on New Year's, I'm guilty of this. My kids, I give them apple cider on New Year's.
Oh, that's they drink.
That's they drink. Every New Year's, they drinking apple cider. They acting like they having fun. But is this my way of telling them that you need to? No, I don't know. So,
well, I can kind of, jump into that area because every New Year's Eve, my mother had us the plastic champagne glasses.
Mhm.
She was not a drinker.
Okay.
So we had 7-Up or ginger ale, or she would mix the both together with Kool-Aid or juices. Those was our drink. But as my stepfather would have, he was an alcoholic and an addict.
Okay.
He was both. He would have his cocktails and different things, and we had sparkling juice.
Okay.
You know, it looks like every year it looked like it's in a champagne bottle,
Mhm.
but I'm not a drinker. I have tasted liquor before. I used to could count on my hand. I'd be like, oh, maybe 3-4 times a year. I think maybe twice this year, maybe once or twice. But
Well, the year just started. No, I'm just kidding.
well, actually none this year. Then you're right. This is a new year.
Yeah.
So, but my mother didn't drink.
Okay.
So no, I think no to you with your children.
That's okay. I'm just
At least
joking.
they're having fun.
Yeah, at least they're having fun. I'm not gonna set them up for no negative trends, no bad juju, none of that. We gonna enjoy ourselves. But I always tell them, and I always tell y'all, I tell my kids, don't be like me, be better.
Better.
It's always something better. And that's our goal. You want them to be better than you. And if you don't, you don't want to be a parent. You're a hater. You don't want to be that kind of parent. So it's funny to say that. And I wanted to also ask you in regards to some of the endeavors you're doing. Let's touch on finish what we started. Did you want to touch on that a little bit?
Everybody, I am the new secretary and treasurer for Finish What We Started Entertainment.
Okay.
The gentleman, his name is Andre Lewis. He's the president of Finish What You Started Entertainment. I met him through my husband. And they have a clothing line also that's coming. They're looking for musicians for the Las Vegas area.
Okay.
They do have a band out in California, but they're forming another band.
Okay.
Also, if anyone would like to hire, for events, they are available.
Okay.
So it's just a awesome new journey for me.
Okay.
Awesome. And the more information that I get, I will touch bases with you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. We love to support. And then also, since we know that you are in the field, did we want to say, or I know you have Marvelous, did you want to
Marvelous
give them
Care
those drops?
at
Go ahead.
Home.
Yeah.
We have available appointments for Marvelous Care at Home Consultant. You can go to our website at www.marvelouscareathomeconsultant.com, the word at, not the symbol, or you can email me at marvelouscareathome@gmail.com. Our telephone number is 702-273-8303. We are available by appointments on Saturdays, and we are open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 6:30, starting 7 a.m. on Fridays to 3:30.
Okay. No, go ahead.
We have Marvelous Care. We have Marvelous Care at Home Consultant Talk. We have sections open. It's a talk show.
Okay, talk to them.
Anybody that would like to be a guest, we have different topics, but one of the main topics that we do talk about is caregiving, assisting caregivers, how to help those that's having dementia, entering the world of dementia, seniors. In the past, I was also a site case manager, I didn't mention, in Illinois, for working with people with intellectual disabilities. So if you would like to join us and be a part of Marvelous Care at Home Talk, please give us a call at 702, same number, 273-8303, or 773-491-6840.
Hello, give her a call. But yeah, that's definitely great to hear because I know that a lot of people work in this field nowadays.
Yes.
It's a growing field, and I'm not sure, but I have some family, and they tell us it pays well. So depending on what you're doing or where you're at, but and I know that they've been doing it for some time, so maybe that's why. But we all need to take pride in taking care of each other.
Absolutely.
I like to think back in the days in the village or whenever, it were a couple of people that would like to take care of everybody. They knew all of the tricks, all of the trades, all the
techniques,
everything, all the little, whatever, to drink this, take this, get this flour, and it'll help you. We don't have that as much now. We rely on the doctors to do that. So it's nice to have people in our community, people that we can call, people that we know that can say, hey, honey, I need to talk about this. Hey, I need to,
Absolutely.
this is what you're having. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're definitely happy to have you here and glad that we did that. In closing, did you have anything else you wanted to say before we go ahead and start closing? I'm going to ask you one more question before we get to closing.
Oh, no, you can ask you one more question. It's just an honor to be here. I thought I was going to be like extremely nervous, but you made me extremely comfortable and welcome.
Oh, thank you. You're doing well. And like I said, when I saw you at that event, I said, oh, man, this lady is made for it. She was real eloquent. She spoke. She grabbed everybody's attention. So I'm sure she'll do great on that talk show. One of the questions that we always ask for the new fathers, if it's a kid or a dude that just had his first kid, he just walked out of Sunrise Medical, he just walked out of Kaiser Permanente, Long Beach Memorial, whatever hospital, he just walked out, and he needs a tip. He's stressed out because he just got this baby in his hand. What tip of advice would you give this young man?
Love your child. Inhale, exhale, stay in your child's life. Keep your child around positive people. If you have people in your life that brings a lot of negative energy, that's something you do not want in your child's life. Be there. Set aside your difference when you have challenging situations with the mother of your child. That child has nothing to do with you and your baby mama or wife. That the baby is innocent. One, the baby was not asked to be here. The baby is a blessing. Right. Anything that's a gift from God, you take care of it. Stay in your child's life.
Hey, you heard that. Listen to your elders. And we're going to make sure we have her back. And this is Auntie Marlene. Like I said, she's nurse certified. She look, if y'all need something, she gave you all the drops. But like I said, we're very excited to have her here, the first lady to come to the podcast, and she's very well informed, and she has all the information for us. So it was my pleasure having you here. We do appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I don't think this will be the last time.
I hope not.
Oh, no. But like I said, you guys continue to follow up, continue to look at the website, fathersfromthehood.com, and we do appreciate you for being here. But most importantly, y'all keep being good dads and take care of those kids. And y'all kids keep being good kids, too. But yeah, y'all have a good day. Love y'all. Thank you.